All right, so today we're taking a deep dive into Yale University jobs.
Really fascinating stuff.
Yeah. You know, it's one thing to think about, like, going to Yale,
Right.
but, like, what about working there?
Yeah, what's it really like?
Yeah. Have you ever wondered what it takes to actually work at a place like that?
Oh, totally. And you know what's really interesting is
Yeah.
these job postings, they actually kind of give us like a sneak peek
Oh, really?
behind the curtain. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
Like into Yale's priorities as an institution,
Huh.
like what they're looking for, what they value.
Right.
And I think you can even like extrapolate from that to see like broader trends
Wow.
in higher education as a whole.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy to just think about the name,
Yeah, the
and the
name.
prestige and all that.
Totally.
But what's it actually like to work there?
Okay, well, first of all, Yale, it's renowned for its R1 classification.
R1.
Yeah, so that means it's a total research powerhouse.
Okay, so tons of research going
Oh,
on.
yeah, tons and tons. Wow.
But what's really fascinating is the sheer, like, breadth of opportunities.
Yeah.
We're talking 14 different schools.
13.
14 from, traditional stuff like arts and sciences.
Sure.
But then, like, more specialized fields, too, like drama nursing, even forestry.
Forestry. Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild. 14 schools, it's like its own city.
It is like a city of academia.
Total.
And you see that reflected in the jobs, too.
Oh, yeah.
So, of course, they need, like, top academics.
Right, the professors, all that.
Exactly. But then they also have this huge need for all kinds of support staff.
I guess that makes sense.
All right, think about it. You've got incredible library collections.
Yeah.
Who manages all that?
Right?
Librarians. Then you've got online learning IT specialists
Oh, yeah, of course.
to keep that running smoothly,
Uh-huh.
even just like maintaining those beautiful old buildings.
Yeah. Yeah.
They need skilled craftspeople.
Yeah. That's really interesting.
Yeah, so it's a whole ecosystem.
It is like its own little world.
Totally.
You know, something I've always been curious about.
Is Yale's commitment to like diversity,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
recruiting a diverse faculty and staff, do the job postings say anything about that?
They definitely do.
Really?
It comes up again and again.
Yeah.
Yale really stresses the importance of having candidates from diverse backgrounds.
Okay.
And it's not just about ticking boxes.
I mean, you got to go beyond that, right?
Exactly. It's about finding people who can bring something unique to the table.
So it enriches the whole environment.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's like they want a vibrant intellectual and cultural environment.
Right, right.
That's what they're going for.
Okay, so we've got this huge variety of jobs, this commitment to diversity.
Mm-hmm.
But let's be real for a second.
Okay.
One of the big perks of working at a place like Yale
Yeah.
is the potential for growth.
Oh, totally. And Yale seems to really invest in their employees' development.
Oh, yeah?
Like the benefits package. It's amazing.
What's in it?
Well, one thing is they have this really generous tuition assistance program.
Tuition is...
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
It is. And it's not just for employees either.
Really?
It extends to their families, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's incredible.
So you can imagine, like, if you have kids or a partner who wants to go back to school,
Wow.
that's a huge benefit.
Yeah, that's a game changer.
Totally. And it really shows you that they care about lifelong learning,
Mm-hmm.
not just for their students, but for everyone in the community.
That's a good point.
It's a great perk.
It is. I mean, you see that kind of stuff like at tech companies and stuff.
Right, exactly.
But not always at a, centuries-old university.
Yeah, it's kind of unique.
It is. So it sounds like Yale is balancing this like tradition and innovation,
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
and that's reflected in the jobs.
Oh, yeah. You see that?
It's not just about, tweed jackets and dusty books
Right.
anymore.
Not at all. I mean, you see positions that blend like traditional academic fields
Yeah.
with cutting edge stuff like data science,
Whoa.
digital humanities, sustainability.
Sustainability.
Wow, yeah, that's fascinating. It really
Yeah.
makes you wonder what kind of people do well in that kind of environment.
Yeah, like who thrives at Yale?
Yeah.
Well, one thing that pops up in a lot of the job postings is this word excellence.
Okay, excellence, but I feel like everyone wants excellence.
Right, but it's not just about like having a fancy degree.
So what does it mean then in this context?
It seems like it's more about a multifaceted approach.
Okay, what does that mean?
Well, of course they want people with a strong track record,
Mhm.
whether it's research, teaching, admin work, whatever.
Right.
But they also really stress service.
Service.
Yeah, like a commitment to contributing to something bigger than yourself.
So it's about making an impact.
Exactly, both within the university and in the wider community.
That's cool.
Think about it. Yale, it's like deeply connected to New Haven.
Yeah, the city where it is.
Right, and it's like they want people who are engaged citizens.
Right, not just like locked away in their offices.
Exactly. They want people who are out there in the world making a difference.
That's a really nice perspective.
It is, and it's refreshing to see.
It is. I mean, it sounds like they really value well-rounded people.
They do.
People who are passionate about their work and want to, give back.
Absolutely, and it's not just about what you've done on paper. It's about who you are as a person.
Your character, all that.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It is.
Okay, so we've got this blend of tradition and innovation, this commitment to diversity and service, this focus on personal and professional growth. It paints a pretty unique picture.
It does.
Of what it's like to work at Yale.
Yeah, I think it really challenges a lot of people's preconceived notions.
Speaking of preconceived notions,
you
can't talk about Yale without thinking about all the famous alumni.
Oh my gosh, right?
The alumni.
Do you think that legacy kind of like plays a role in the current work environment?
Oh, it's gotta, right? I mean, how could it not?
Yeah.
You got presidents, Nobel laureates, Supreme Court justices.
Pulitzer Prize winners, artists, activists, the list goes on and on.
It's pretty wild.
It's amazing.
It is, and it makes you realize how many different fields and industries Yale grads have gone on to impact.
It's not just one thing.
No.
It's like everything.
Right. And do you think that makes the environment more intimidating?
I don't think so.
Really?
I think it's more like inspiring. You see all these different paths that a Yale education, and by extension, a Yale work experience, can open up for you.
That's cool. So it's not about following in anyone's footsteps.
Right.
It's about forging your own path.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah, it's about finding what you're passionate about and making your own mark on the world.
So cool. And that's something I definitely want to explore more.
Yeah, we should.
As we really dig into these job openings and what they tell us about, higher ed careers.
It's a changing landscape.
It is. What are some of the more surprising job titles you found?
There are a few. Let me think. Okay, so one was digital humanities developer.
Digital humanities developer.
Yeah, and it's within the Yale University library.
Yeah.
And it's like this really interesting mix of needing technical skills, but also a deep understanding of humanities research.
That is interesting.
It is, right?
It's like that perfect example of how technology is changing everything.
Even the most traditional fields.
Totally.
Yeah, and it shows that Yale is really serious about staying on the cutting edge.
Of innovation in research and teaching.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about how Yale wants well-rounded people who are passionate about their work, committed to service, eager to embrace innovation. But let's get practical for a second.
Okay.
What's it actually like to apply for a job at Yale?
Well, with any job, you need a good resume, a good cover letter that highlights your skills and experience.
Of course.
But here's the thing.
Okay, what's different?
Yale's commitment to diversity and inclusion, it's baked into the whole application process.
Oh, really?
They actually encourage people from underrepresented groups to apply. And they even provide resources to help those candidates.
That's really good.
Throughout the entire process.
That's awesome. So it's not just lip service.
No, they're really putting their money where their mouth is,
right.
Creating a more inclusive environment.
That's great. And it goes beyond just the application too, right?
Oh, yeah.
What about once you're hired?
Yeah, they have these initiatives to help people from diverse backgrounds advance their careers and move into leadership roles.
So it's not just about getting hired.
Exactly. It's about setting people up for success.
Long-term success.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, so if you're actually applying, what are some tips?
Okay, so one thing that really stands out is that you need to tailor your materials to the specific position and highlight how you align with Yale's values.
So it's not just about saying hey, look at everything I've done. It's about saying hey, look at everything I've done, and this is how it connects to what you guys are all about.
Exactly.
Got it.
And it's not just about listing accomplishments either.
Right.
You need to really think about how your skills and experience connect to what Yale's trying to achieve.
So it's about finding that overlap between your goals and theirs.
Exactly. And that takes research.
Of course.
And some serious self-reflection.
Right. Thinking about what you really want.
Exactly.
This is all really interesting.
It is.
It's making me think about how I approach job applications.
Well, that's the whole point of a deep dive, right?
Yeah.
Not just learning new facts, but like challenging our assumptions and broadening our perspectives.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've only just scratched the surface.
We have.
Of what these postings tell us about, higher ed careers.
Oh, yeah. There's so much more to unpack. In the next part, we'll talk about how Yale's approach to hiring reflects these broader trends in academia and beyond.
Got it.
And we'll look at some specific jobs that show this intersection of like traditional scholarship and these emerging fields.
Okay, so if you're interested in what the future holds for higher ed careers.
Yeah.
Or if you're just fascinated by Yale.
Totally.
Stick with us.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
So we were talking about how these job postings at Yale give us like a glimpse into how higher ed careers are changing.
Yeah, it's really cool to see how the lines are blurring.
You're like, what do you mean?
Well, like one posting that I thought was super interesting was for a data scientist for social impact.
Okay, data scientist for social impact.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
It's in the Yale School of Public Health.
Okay.
And basically they're looking for someone who can like use data analysis to tackle these big public health problems.
So like what kind of stuff?
Well, think about it. You could use big data to track like disease outbreaks or to figure out how well certain health interventions are working.
Right.
Or even to personalize healthcare, like for different people.
Wow. So it's all about like using data to make a real difference.
Exactly. Like actually improving people's lives.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And it shows you that people are realizing that to solve these really complicated problems, you need a multidisciplinary approach.
What does that mean?
Well, it means you can't just focus on like the science.
Right.
You also need to think about the social, economic, and political factors that affect people's health.
Right. It's all connected.
Exactly. It's all connected.
That makes a lot of sense.
Oh.
So it seems like Yale is really embracing this idea.
Which one?
That universities can be like engines for social change.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Not just these ivory towers that are detached from reality.
Right, exactly.
I like that.
Yeah, and I think that's a key takeaway from all of this.
Okay, what is it?
Yale is looking for people who aren't just experts in their fields, but who are also passionate about using their knowledge to solve real problems.
So they want people who are actually going to go out there and do stuff.
Yes, exactly, like scholar activists.
Scholar activists. I love that.
Yeah, it's a great term.
It is. And is that something that you're seeing at other universities too?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Really?
Universities are being asked to step up and help address these huge problems.
Like what kind of problems?
Like climate change.
Okay, yeah.
Social inequality, all these pressing global issues.
Right.
It's not just about research and teaching anymore.
It's about making a difference.
Exactly.
I wonder if that's changing the kind of students who want to go to Yale too.
That's a great question.
Like, are they looking for a more hands-on experience?
It's possible.
Right? Something where they can actually, make an impact?
Yeah, like they're not just interested in theory. They want to get out there and do something.
And this focus on social impact, do you think that's changing the research that's happening at Yale too?
Oh.
Like, are they moving away from just theoretical research?
Possibly, yeah.
And focusing more on like applied research?
It's a trend we're seeing.
Yeah.
Fundamental research is still important, of course.
Right.
But there's this growing feeling that universities need to connect more with the real world.
So it's not just about publishing papers.
Right.
It's about finding solutions.
Exactly.
Solutions that actually work.
And that often means collaborating.
Okay. With who?
With people from different fields.
Oh, I see.
Like scientists, engineers, social scientists, even artists.
Artists, wow.
Yeah, why not?
I guess so.
You need all these perspectives.
To solve these really big problems.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
It is. It's exciting to see.
It is. It's like higher education is actually like adapting.
It is. It's
to the world around it.
Totally.
That's awesome. Okay, let's go back to the job postings for a second.
Okay.
Were there any others that you found like surprising or interesting?
Let me think. Oh, yeah. There was one for Director of Sustainability Initiatives.
Director of Sustainability Initiatives.
Yeah.
What's that about?
So this person would be in charge of developing and implementing a sustainability plan.
Okay.
For the whole university.
Wow, that's a big job.
It is a huge job.
That's impressive. It shows that Yale is really serious about sustainability.
They're walking the walk.
Not just talking the talk.
Exactly. And it's not just about like reducing their carbon footprint.
Right.
They want to integrate sustainability into everything.
Everything.
Yeah, like how they run the campus, how they design buildings, what they teach, even how they engage with the community.
Wow, so it's like a holistic approach.
Totally. It's a huge undertaking.
It sounds like a dream job for someone who's really passionate about sustainability.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But it also shows you that there's this growing demand.
There is.
For people with this kind of expertise.
Oh, yeah. Sustainability is huge.
It is. And it's not just in universities, right?
No, it's everywhere. Businesses, governments.
All kinds of organizations.
Yeah, everybody's thinking about sustainability now.
So if you have a degree in that or experience in that,
it's a really valuable asset.
It is, no matter what field you're in.
Yeah, it opens doors.
That's really cool. And we're seeing that in other fields too, right?
Yeah.
Like data science, cybersecurity, public health, renewable energy. It's like all these skills that you learn in college,
right?
They could be applied to so many different careers.
Exactly. The lines are getting blurrier.
Between academia and the real world.
Totally. And it's a good thing.
It is. It creates more opportunities.
For everybody.
For people from different backgrounds with different skills.
Yeah.
To like solve these problems that we're facing.
Yeah. To make a real difference.
That's awesome.
It is.
So we started this deep dive thinking about, tweed jackets and dusty books.
Right, the stereotypical image.
But it's clear that working at Yale today is a lot different than that.
Oh, yeah, totally different.
It's about being innovative, collaborating with people from different fields, using your skills to make a difference.
Exactly.
It's about being part of something bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
Contributing to this legacy.
That goes beyond just Yale.
Right. It's about impacting the world.
Totally. And that's a powerful message.
It is for anyone who's thinking about a career in higher ed. But it goes beyond that too.
Right.
Right?
For sure.
This idea of finding purpose in your work, using your skills to make a positive impact.
That's something we should all be thinking about.
Yeah. No matter what we do.
Exactly.
That's really good.
It is. And I think we've covered a lot today.
We have.
We talked about how tradition and innovation come together at Yale. We dug into some really interesting job postings.
Yeah.
And we even touched on some of the bigger trends that are shaping higher ed careers.
We did.
And I hope that our listeners have a better understanding now of what it's like to work at Yale.
And maybe some inspiration for their own careers.
Yeah.
Right? Because this is all really inspiring.
It is.
It is. Okay. But before we wrap up, I want to go back to the application process for a second.
Okay.
You mentioned that Yale really wants you to show how your skills and experience connect to their values.
Oh, yeah, that's huge.
Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Okay, so Yale's mission statement, it's all about improving the world today and for future generations.
Okay.
Through outstanding research and scholarship, education, preservation, and practice.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
It is, but it's a good mouthful.
Right.
It's like a mission statement mouthful.
Okay, so it's not just about having the right degree or the right experience.
Right.
It's about showing that you really care about this stuff.
Exactly. You need to show that you're committed to these ideals.
And that's where the cover letter comes in.
Oh, yeah. The cover letter is key.
It is.
It's your chance to tell your story.
Okay.
To explain how your background and your goals connect with Yale's mission.
So let's say someone is really passionate about making education more accessible.
Okay.
For people who can't afford it. Should they talk about that in their application?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Even if it's not directly related to the specific job?
Even if it's not directly related.
Wow, okay.
Because Yale wants people who are driven by a sense of purpose.
People who want to use their skills to make a difference.
Exactly. They want people who are going to make the world a better place.
That's awesome. It's like your passions can actually help you get the job.
Yeah, they can be an asset.
They're not just like this fluffy extra thing.
No, they're important.
And that's a message that everyone should hear.
Totally.
Whether they're applying to Yale or anywhere else.
Yeah, it's about finding what you care about and going for it.
That's a great note to end on.
I think so, too.
I agree.
It's been great talking about Yale with you.
It has been.
It's a fascinating place.
It is. And to our listeners,
yeah,
thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
We hope you learned something.
We do. And maybe you even got some ideas for your own career.
Or just something to think about.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, as we've been like breaking down these job postings, it makes you realize that this is about way more than just Yale.
Oh, totally.
It's like a bigger conversation.
It is. It's about how work is changing in general.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just about knowing a specific skill or having a certain job title anymore.
It's about being able to adapt.
Okay.
Being willing to like learn new things and grow.
Right.
And really understanding how what you do fits into a bigger picture.
I see what you're saying.
Oh.
Yeah, and it seems like Yale really values people who want to make a difference in the world.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Whether that's through research or teaching or just like bringing a positive attitude to their work.
It's about having a good attitude and like wanting to collaborate with others.
Right. It's like a shift in values.
It is. It's not just about climbing the ladder or chasing a fancy title.
It's about finding work that's meaningful.
Exactly. Work that aligns with your values.
Right, and that makes you feel like you're actually contributing to something.
Yeah, something bigger than yourself.
Something bigger, yeah.
And that's something we're seeing everywhere.
Really, like outside of academia, too?
Oh, yeah, in all kinds of industries. People want their work to have purpose.
They want to feel like they're making a difference.
They do.
That's really cool.
It's changing the whole game.
It is like how companies hire people, what they look for.
Exactly. It's not just about technical skills anymore.
So what are they looking for?
They want people who are passionate, who are adaptable, who are committed to making a difference.
I see.
It's about finding people who are a good fit for the company culture.
Right, who share the same values.
Exactly.
It makes you rethink what success really means.
It does.
It's not just about money or status.
It's about finding something you love, something that makes you feel good.
Something that makes a difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wow.
And I really hope that's one of the big takeaways from our deep dive. I think it is.
This idea that work can be about more than just a paycheck.
Yeah.
It can be about making the world a better place.
It can be about purpose.
Totally.
That's awesome. I love that.
Me too.
So yeah, I think looking at these Yale job postings has given us a lot to think about.
Oh, definitely. It's a glimpse into the future of work.
The future of work.
Yeah, where purpose, passion, and lifelong learning are key.
I like that.
Me too.
It's inspiring.
It is.
It makes you realize that we all have the power to make a difference.
We do, every single one of us.
No matter what our job is.
Exactly.
That's a great message.
It is, and it's a message worth spreading.
It is. So do our listeners.
Yeah.
Whether you're thinking about applying to Yale or exploring other career options.
We're just trying to figure out what you want to do with your life.
Yeah.
Remember what we talked about today.
Be passionate.
Be adaptable.
Be purpose-driven.
And never stop learning.
Never stop learning. That's great advice.
It's the best advice I know.
Well, it's been awesome exploring all of this with you.
It has been a pleasure.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
We'll see you next time.